What's up everybody, this is Master EN Gamer. With Ekko having hit the PTR, I've been getting a ton of questions from you all asking when she's going to be going to live servers, when console players will get to play her, and when we are going to get to look at her legendary skins and other cosmetics. So in this video, I just want to cover all the details we know so far regarding those questions to keep you all up to date and hopefully know what to expect going forward. So let's get into it. Real quick first though, I'd just like to mention that if you end up enjoying this video, be sure to subscribe and hammer that bell button to both help out my channel and keep up with all my future Overwatch related content. And now let's talk about Ekko's schedule. Getting on to the big questions. First, when will Ekko be going to live servers for console players as well as PC players to all enjoy? Unfortunately, it's probably not going to be for a while. Now, typically when we get new heroes released, we see a PTR cycle of about 3 weeks between when they are first revealed and hit PTR, and then go to live servers for everyone to be able to play. Historically, there's been a bit of an exception here when it comes to BlizzCon heroes, as well as heroes that released way back in the early days of Overwatch. But looking at the past 2 years of hero releases, discounting the ones that came out at BlizzCon, it's typically been 3 weeks between first reveal and launch to live servers. With one exception, however, being Wrecking Ball, who took nearly 4 weeks to go through his PTR cycle. And as much as I hate to admit it, I think we're gonna see another near 4 weeks for Ekko as well. Now, there's some valid reasons for why Blizzard is probably gonna end up doing this. First and foremost, Jeff flat out acknowledged this in the Ekko developer update video, saying that she's going to have a slightly longer than usual PTR cycle.
So we'll do testing on the PTR for Ekko. She will be going live soon, but it will be probably a prolonged PTR period because a hero takes a lot of testing, a lot of tuning, balancing, bug fixing.
Now, looking at it one way, you could say that he's just referring to a 3-week PTR cycle, since in the past few months, we've actually started to see the typical sort of balance patches go through the PTR much more quickly, going through in a week, if not even less. So maybe he just meant comparatively, the 3-week PTR cycle for Ekko is going to be longer compared to the non-new hero PTR cycles we've been seeing recently. But I do think he means we're going to see a longer than average cycle for heroes, meaning that it's going to be probably closer to 4 weeks as opposed to 3. The reason for that is Ekko is a mechanically very, very complicated hero, and they obviously want to do a ton of testing with her on the PTR to make sure she's balanced properly and that she isn't going to introduce any horrific game-breaking bugs. Jeff even admitted in some of the live streams he did that Ekko has become the new diva in terms of her ultimate, Duplicate, when it comes to the back-end problems that causes for the game itself. The coding on that one ultimate ability is very complicated, evidently, and could potentially cause a lot of problems, which is a good reason for them to want to keep her on the PTR a little bit longer than usual. Heaven forbid they introduce her to live servers and competitive, and then something terrible happens and people start having game crashes because of her. Now going back to the past new hero releases, as I mentioned, Wrecking Ball was the other hero who stuck out as being on the PTR for almost 4 weeks. And what's significant about Wrecking Ball, he also happens to be a very mechanically complicated hero, not only in his ability to grapple hook and roll around, but the fact that he can essentially transform by going from his mech to ball form. So seeing that historically complicated heroes like this have had longer PTR cycles, I do think that's going to indicate that Ekko will be on the PTR for longer than we typically see and admittedly want. My estimate would be around the middle of April, possibly being either April 14th or 16th, since new patches on live servers almost always go up on a Tuesday or Thursday. Furthermore, Jeff did also mention that Ekko will not be coming to the experimental card, which I know a lot of people were suspecting would be the case. Evidently, Ekko is just too complicated as a content addition, basically, so that they just don't have the right technology to push that through to just a specific game mode, essentially, without causing potential damage and risks for the rest of the game. So overall, they're just going to leave her on PTR, which is only accessible to PC players, and console players are going to get the short end of the stick, as always, which is why it really sucks for console players. However, in the meantime, what about her skins and other cosmetic items? When are we going to end up seeing those? Fortunately, we can expect those to be not quite so far off, but still probably a little ways. Once again, looking at past new hero releases, excluding the BlizzCon ones since they're always different for whatever reason, over the past couple years we've seen that heroes typically get their cosmetic items added about a week after they first go to PTR. Again, there's some fluctuation here, like Sigma and Wrecking Ball both got their cosmetics a little past a week. In fact, Wrecking Ball was actually 2 weeks after he first launched, so approximately right in the middle of his whole PTR cycle. So we're probably going to have a similar situation play out again with Ekko. I would say Thursday, March 26th at the earliest is when we're going to see the new skins and everything, but it could potentially be even later than that, especially if she does have a longer overall PTR cycle and they want to just space everything out a bit more. In the meantime though, we have actually gotten a sneak peek of 2 of her sprays, being the Cute and Pixel sprays, which show up when you look at her achievements in game. So we at least know what these are going to look like, but we're going to have to wait for everything else. Now there are a couple other teasers or potential skins we could be getting. For example, the streamer AlphaCast did an interview with one of the Overwatch character artists. I actually talked much more extensively about that whole interview and all the important information from it in a video I published earlier today, so be sure to check that out if you haven't already. But in regards to Ekko's cosmetics, the artist actually teased that one of the upcoming skins would have something to do with geometry. Somehow the word geometry is going to play into some of her skins. We'll have to wait and see what exactly that means. Although one idea I have comes from a character we see on the Rialto map, which is Leonora Batruvia. Now, we don't really know much about this character other than that she's showing off her Omnic artwork at the Rialto Art Gallery, but if you look at her character design in this banner on the map, she looks remarkably visually similar to Ekko. So, is this potentially going to be one of Ekko's legendary skins? In fact, this might even be what the artist was referring to by saying geometry, since if we look at her artwork in the art gallery, it all appears very geometric in a sense. So perhaps this is going to be one of her new skins, or maybe it's one that won't be released with her base loot pool but will appear later down the line. But considering the stark visual similarity, I think there's a very strong chance for this happening. Another more general idea about a skin that Ekko could either get as part of her base loot pool, or if not that, definitely part of an event, would be something that plays into the aspect of how objectively creepy it is that she's capable of copying other heroes. I'm thinking something along the lines of like a weird pod person. I don't know, that's just the first thing I thought of when I thought about Ekko, and the fact that she just turns into another character is very creepy, and I definitely think Blizzard is going to play into that to some extent. I feel like maybe that would be a good skin to get during the Halloween event, some sort of weird like mimic creature or pod person. But aside from that, there's any number of technology-based skins that I could easily see her getting. Now, on a final note regarding Ekko's cosmetics, the artist in the interview also mentioned that Ekko's golden weapon will comprise of a main part of her forearm and the black parts of her glove. So looking at Ekko's just character model and her arm, you can kind of imagine what the golden gun is going to end up looking like. And the golden gun is probably going to end up releasing with the rest of the cosmetics, which will be out again in a week or two. So that's all we really know at the moment regarding the console release and cosmetics for Ekko. But in the meantime, there was one other thing I just wanted to point out, which some of you may have missed, which is that Ekko actually has singing voice lines for the karaoke spawn room on Busan. So here's that.
Am I programmed to dance? Yeah! Oh! Ooh! Woo! The beat's rising! Ah! 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 Yeah! This is when they drop the beat! Oh! Ah! Ooh! I think I slipped a circuit! Duplicating dance moves! To the left! To the right! Dr. Liao would be proud!
So that covers everything for this video. Again, it's unfortunate that we're going to have to wait a bit to get to play Ekko on live servers, and it's especially unfortunate for console players who don't even get to try her out on PTR, but we should still be having the cosmetic items coming out sometime sooner, and there may be some other stuff releasing sort of around that same time as well when Ekko goes to live servers. I'll be talking more about that in other upcoming videos, but for the time being, hopefully you guys won't suffer too much while having to wait for her. Of course, I will be making more more videos talking about any future news regarding Ekko and her release schedule as soon as we get any information, so be sure to stay tuned to my channel for that. And with that, thank you all for watching. Let me know what skins you'd like to see for Ekko by leaving a comment down below, and as always, be sure to leave a like if you enjoyed this video and share it with a friend if you really liked it. Subscribe, hit up that bell, join my Discord server, and follow me on Twitter at MasterEnGamer. And if you'd like to support my channel, then you can hit that join button down below to get some cool rewards like the people you see here on screen. Otherwise, this is MasterEnGamer signing off, and until next time, have a great day.